Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we are talking about the proposed Doordash strike. Why some Redditors are dismissing a proposed Doordash strike. As you know, as of pretty much a few years now, I think it is, since DoorDash strikes have been popping up here and there to try to get DoorDash to pay us better or to do something to that effect. As you can imagine, that just isn't working in their favor. So with that said, I want to talk about this article, my opinions on the strike, and towards the end of the video, I actually want to go over what you guys are saying about the DoorDash strike. So with that said, let's get started. In July 2021, DoorDash found itself mired in a controversy when some workers decided to boycott the food delivery service and go on strike. According to NPR, the strike apparently began on Reddit, and supporters were asked to use Uber Eats for the day instead of DoorDash to protest against the service. Okay, so the purpose of that strike was to go on to Uber Eats instead of DoorDash. But what people were saying during the time of that strike, from what I was hearing, was don't use DoorDash all day, do absolutely nothing. That was interesting to me, the way they were saying that, because the message sent is not necessarily what was received. So that was already an interesting point to be made here. The Reddit post stated that DoorDash drivers should receive better base pay and should not be expected to rely on tips. Someone also wrote there should be transparency before accepting orders, as we are not DoorDash employees. In a statement shared with NPR, the company mentioned that a driver's base pay is calculated based on the estimated time, distance, and desirability of an order, and can be anywhere between $2 to $10. A description on the website adds deliveries that require dashers to travel a longer distance, that are expected to take more time, and that are less popular with dashers will have higher base pay. Base pay will not change based on the customer's tip amount. We all know that's a bunch of dog crap. I made a whole video about the pay model. If you haven't seen it, go check that out. I'll leave it in the description. I think a point to be made here is that you're trying to focus on base pay, and yeah, the company should be paying us better, but what you should be looking for, at least on DoorDash, is customers that are tipping better than most, because those are the orders that are going to pay you the most and give you the best customer rating, so you're securing your account. Now, DoorDash drivers are planning to go on strike once again on March 10th for better earnings and working conditions, as well as proper disclosure of tip amounts, according to a February 22nd Reddit post. However, not everyone agrees with this plan. Strikes are not effective overall. In fact, most people are like, ooh, opportunity. Please don't go on DoorDash that day. Let me take the good order so that way I'll make more money and you can do whatever you feel is right. Redditors aren't too sure about going on strike against DoorDash, and some have strong opinions about the controversy. One commenter wrote, last time this happened, the base pay was $3 and it decreased, lol. Another Redditor thinks that this isn't a useful strategy and wrote, seems about as effective as back in high school, people tried to organize a protest against the fuel industry by not buying gas on Mondays or some stuff. DoorDash was testing the lower base pay long before that strike happened. It solidified after the strike happened. It wasn't because of the strike. That being said, the second point here is that it's as effective as your school protesting against the fuel industry and not buying gas on Mondays. Well, first off, that's not an effective protest overall. Second, the fuel industry is got a lot more positive connections with the federal government, so there is a lot to be challenged with current events, but I don't want to go into that in this video. Another commenter agreed and wrote that they don't believe that the strike will help much, but added that it's important to start somewhere. They also wrote, I'm hoping our old jobs wise up and realize that no one who owns a car and a brain is ever going to work for them again until they offer wages and other considerations that make them competitive with the gig app lifestyle. That's a good point, because that was something that I was going to bring up, is what is an effective way to actually strike against DoorDash? You find another opportunity that's paying better. Unfortunately, as far as gig apps go, DoorDash is the one that's paying the most. Well, food delivery overall, not just DoorDash. In terms of making money, I think Grubhub or Uber Eats, depending on the market, actually pays the most. DoorDash has volume, like order volume. DoorDash doesn't have higher pay. In fact, most of the higher pay orders are only with the large order and catering programs. A pragmatic commenter wrote that for a strike to work effectively, it's important to work on leadership, organization, and solidarity. They also believe that protesters need to ensure that the demands are specific instead of using vague terms such as better pay. They offered a suggestion and wrote, "You have to rig the system, sign in and decline all day, be vigilant about it." That's gonna hurt you more than anything else. Everything else he said was right. It's just that last line I have a problem with. This goes back to the whole GameStop AMC thing, where people were like, yeah, diamond hands, yet they were selling their GameStop and AMC stocks. Are there stocks that people are just holding on to for dear life because they're diamond handing it? Yeah, but there are less committed meme stock buyers than there are pragmatic, let's take the profit and run kind of people. You know what I mean? I wrote a poll about this on my community tab about how you guys feel about Doordash strikes. If you haven't seen it, it's probably because you're not subscribed to the channel, so I would highly recommend subscribing so that way you guys can always have an opinion and have your voice heard on what's happening in the gig economy community. How do you guys feel about Doordash strikes? The first option I put was, they are dumb, I ignore them, they need to stop. Pretty much dismissed the whole thing. 30% of people. 54 votes, but 30%, significant. I think they are great, take down the evil ones. 6%. So only 6% of people are actually on board for this strike. Third option, you guys are so savage, by the way. I love it. I think they are great. Less drivers, more orders. 57%. Other. Comment below. 7%. Okay, let's look at this. Let's see what you guys are saying. I'll spend my time thinking about truly important things that are happening in the world today. Anyone who thinks DD is evil should watch the news to witness true evil. On strike day, I'll be dashing. This is very simple. You are unhappy with DD, stop working with DD. There are plenty of happy dashers who are more than willing to pick up the slack. This is very true. Michelle Murney, you have a very good point. A lot of people are willing to just make the money that you're not. It's just that simple. Mooner's dad, we're all independent contractors, legally unable to unionize or even try to act like it, which is what these strike attempts are. There's legally no we in any of this. We are all each other's competitors as independent contractors. Y'all want to have a strike and not take good orders when they come. I'll be happy to take them. It's a complete advantage I have. I don't know how I feel about the term competitors. In my opinion, the term competitor means that I am in competition. I am against your success. I'm not against anybody's success. I'm not for or against anybody's success. I'm literally here to make money. That's really it. But you are free to feel however you like. More money for me if I work that day. Yeah, that sounds about right. John Lee has a good point. Michael Bartow. So will the GWC join this or not? Because it's funny, when Instacart wanted a strike, they were all for them. I'm going to guess they will say to us, have fun folks, we will be sitting on the sideline. They boast about working for all, but only work for the Instacart folks. The striking thing doesn't really change anything. You want change, you're gonna need to buy shares in the company and go to the shareholders meeting and air your issues to the board of directors and fellow investors. That's how change works. Here's the thing about that. While I do understand what he's saying from a actual change perspective, from an investor perspective, as far as the operations side goes, as long as the job gets done, the job gets done. I don't know how much weight the investors actually have as far as change in the company, because you gotta think the executives probably hold the majority of the shares, and stating your opinion doesn't mean you're actually gonna make an actual change. You know what I mean? Okay, here's my humble opinion on the subject. Just a quick summary. United we stand, divided we fall. Plain and simple. All of us are standing on our own, pretty much. It's not like we're united against the company, although there should be some sort of unity, but we're not a union. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. These strikes and everyone's negative feelings about how things are going in the gig economy is just a greater extenuation of the point of the gig economy is a great income bridge to what would be a long-term goal. It's not the goal. It's never going to be the goal. Why? It's not because of the industry itself. A lot of people stay in the food industry. The fact that the accounts are so fragile and the income is not consistent enough to where you could truly trust the company that you're working. Can you strike to potentially get a change? I mean, not in the way that it's currently being done, no. Like, there's no leadership, there's no organization, and there's never going to be, because that's just not how the gig economy operates. Everyone operates like their own singular business. So what should you do as someone who owns their own singular business? Develop your exit strategy. Whether it's a side business, you're paying yourself through college, maybe this is your side business, and this doesn't really mean much to you. Just don't let this be your end goal. Don't depend on any of these gig apps for too long. So if you really want a change for your life so that way you are happier, work on something on the side outside of the gig economy. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.